my microphone not hooked up. I was glad that that was a happy accident. From yokieB.com. Welcome to my channel where I share crochet and knitting patterns and tutorials as well as finished projects and lots of fun fiber things. I'm sorry it has taken me so long to finally film this video, but I've been really behind on filming my YouTube videos. I'm here to share my fall 2021 Knit Collage knit along project with you, and actually it is almost time for the spring knit along. It's going to be happening in like a week and a half, I think, or a couple weeks, so more to come on that. But just a little hint, there might actually be a crochet option this time. I'll let you know all the details about that in my next video. But I wanted to finally share my Express Yourself sweater. This was such a fun sweater to make, and I really wanted to practice on my color work because I have only done, I think, a beanie before, the Two of Wands, Adirondack beanie, I believe. So I've only done that beanie before, and I really wanted to work on my color work. I've of course worked with slip stitches and have a couple of patterns where I use slip stitches with color work. But in regards to stranded color work, I have not done a whole lot of that, just that one beanie, and so I really wanted to kind of challenge myself to get more familiar with it. There were so many fun options to choose from in the fall 2021 knit along, and so it was really hard to decide, but I ultimately went with the Express Yourself sweater because I really wanted to work on that color work. I still want to make the Majestic Mountain cardie and the Majestic Mountain and the Loop It Up cardie. So those are on my list of things to do because I want to learn how to steek. I just want to learn all the things. So those are for sure on my list, and as I mentioned before, you get all of the patterns when you are a part of the knit along, so you can always choose to do those at a later date, and they are not available on the Knit Collage website until probably about a year later, so you definitely get early access to all those patterns. It's a super awesome opportunity to get loads of amazing patterns. You can also use stash yarn that you have, or just mix in some of your leftover knit collage with your stash yarn. It's a really great way to add some super fun patterns to your pattern library. As you guys know, I absolutely love being a part of the knit along. My first knit along was in 2020, the spring of 2020, and I actually made this pillow. This is the Sunburst pillow designed by Julie Robinson, and she's actually the one who I took the pattern grading boot camp from, and she is just awesome. She is so talented. She also designed the Harley sweater for the spring 2021 knit along, but I love being a part of the knit along. It is such a treat and so much fun. I love challenging myself, trying new techniques, using yarns I haven't used before. If you are wanting to knit a garment, it's an awesome place to start that because there's video tutorials, there are Zoom sessions, there is just so much help to make you succeed. If you've been following along with me for a long time, then you know how much I love the knit along, and I have done lots of videos. Put my entire playlist down in the description box below and also up here so that you can check it out if you want to, but I just highly recommend it. But let's get back into the details of my Express Yourself sweater. First, let's go over the yarns that I use. So this is the Serenity Boucle yarn, and it is like the airiest yarn. It is so lightweight. It's just really cool texture. I use the color Coral Cabana, Marigold, Electric Lime, and Peony for this light pink here. The kit actually just came with the Electric Lime, Marigold, and Peony, but I just wanted to add in another neon because I love neon so much, and I really wanted to try the Coral Cabana, so I just could not resist adding another color in. So those are the colors that I chose for this sweater, and I just love the way that it turned out. I did tweak. Okay, see my cat right here? Oh, he wants to be a part of the video. Hi! Hey, bud. You say hi to the video? Say hi? So since I did add in an extra color, I had to decide how I wanted my colors to go. I don't know if you guys have ever tried this before, but this is kind of how I decided to work out my colors and how I could remember where I wanted them to go in the sweater. I just used the markup feature on the photo editing to kind of decide where I wanted to put my colors. To make. I really enjoyed working this color work, but I was so concerned about my color work being too tight. That is always what I hear about people who do color work for the first time, that it is like always too tight. So I was like super aware of it being too tight, and I ended up making it too loose. I did do a gauge swatch and everything. It seemed like it was going to be just fine, but after I finished the color work portion, I tried it on and it was definitely too big. So I did measure as I went along too, and I'm like, this is gonna be too big. Then I had to decide if I wanted to frog it and start over, or if I just wanted to try to figure out something else. And I do not love frogging this yarn. I think because of the like nubby texture, it's not very fun to frog. I am always a fan of frogging, you guys may know, but if I don't like something, I will most certainly frog it and make it into something else. Like, I just hate wasting yarn. I will frog that baby in a second. But I do not love frogging certain yarns. The color work actually looked okay. It just was not the right fit from my neck to where my arms were gonna start, because this sweater is worked top down, which I love that it's worked top down. It's like seamless, and I really enjoy working top down sweaters, but I just did not want to frog this thing. And so I was trying to figure out a way to kind of raise the neckline so that it would work. So I decided on a turtleneck, and I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out. I think that it's really cozy and just kind of adds to that cozy factor. I really like, even though it was an accident, I like the way the turtleneck goes with the cuffs. I just feel like it's a nice balance to the cuffs. I also love that it added in a little bit more of the neon pink. I was glad that that was a happy accident, because I was not sure if it was going to work out. So I guess that's just a word to the wise for beginners in color work, that it can also be too loose. So if your color work turns out a little bit too loose, I suppose that a turtleneck is an option. I wasn't sure if it was going to work or not, but I was very excited that it worked for this sweater. I also decided to make my sweater a little bit more cropped so I could wear it with high-waisted jeans, and I really like that with the turtleneck as well. I definitely want to make another one. I am still new to color work, so I will have to practice. This is really an easy color work sweater because there weren't too many colors. Now, of course, I added one in to make it more difficult for myself, but it really was very easy. And I did start to get the hang of holding my yarn in my right hand and my left hand, so I could knit continental and also throw with the other colors. So that's a nice thing. Once you get in that rhythm, it really helps kind of with the speed of it. I just love color work. I think it's so intricate and beautiful, and I love the way that it looks so much. So I for sure have plans to do more color work in the future, and probably will make this sweater again. I'm excited to see kind of a different yarn with it too. I think would be really fun, and I just really love it. It's very cozy, it's so comfortable, and here in the mountains I still have a while to wear it. It actually snowed this morning, so I'll still be able to wear it this spring for a little bit. I did steam block it, but I have not wet blocked it yet, and I think that it's going to lay even nicer after I wet block it. And it was such a fun project. I always love my finished projects after the knit along, and I really love too that it helps me stay accountable to finishing projects, because sometimes, you know, if you put it down, you will not pick it back up, or you forget where you were. And so I love the accountability in keeping it going and finishing it. I actually started this sweater back in November. We've been on a family road trip, and so I thought it would be a perfect time to work on this sweater. Just a really great road trip project. So I worked on it for quite a while on that trip, but then I had to put it down for a little bit to finish some other projects. So it took longer than it normally would have taken me. I think honestly, if I was working non-stop and just exclusively on this sweater, it really would not have taken that long. I do love that about knit collage projects as well, because the yarn is so bulky, the projects go fast. You get a sweater in just a few weeks, and it's so awesome. I'm super excited for this upcoming knit along. I can't wait to share with you guys which ones I'm going to choose. I haven't decided 100% yet. Well, I've decided 100% on one, but I was almost wondering if I could maybe do two. I told my husband maybe this could be Mother's Day and my birthday, so we will see. But I will keep you posted on that and let you know in the next video when the knit along is live and you can get your own kits, because I know that you guys are going to be excited about it too. I know so many of my crocheters out there have been waiting for the opportunity to be a part of this make along. It's now a make along because it is knitting and crochet, so I hope that's exciting for you. From this knit along, I made a kaleidoscope sweater for my daughter, which I was so excited to make for her. I used some leftover Orchid Spuncloud that I had, some We Are Knitters neon pink that I had. There's some King Cole Limited. I can't remember the style of yarn, but I'll link it down below if I can find it. And it's the color rainbow, I believe. I used some of the fabric yarn that I made that I had on hand. And then, oh, there's a little bit of ochre in there too of We Are Knitters the wool. It was so fun to make a sweater for her. I hadn't made one for her in a while, so it was really fun, and she was excited about it, so that is always wonderful. And I loved the colors. Like, I wasn't sure. Sometimes when I go into something with like scraps or something like that, like I love mixing colors. I love trying new color combinations, like interesting ones. And I wasn't sure if this would work, but y'all, I am obsessed with the color combination. And I still have quite a bit of this yarn left. It's so funny, and you guys tell me if you can relate to this, but sometimes you're like, oh, I'm gonna make a sweater, I'm gonna use up all this stash yarn, or I'm gonna make a blanket, I'm gonna use up all this stash yarn. And so you gather like so many yarns, and then at the end it seems like you have almost the same amount of yarn as you had when you started. I think as you gather so many different styles of yarn. But y'all, tell me if that happens to you, because I was like, oh, I've got this yarn and this yarn and this yarn, I'm gonna use up all this yarn, and it's so exciting. And like I still have tons of yarn of all those yarns. But either way, it is good to use up stash yarn, so I was very excited about that, and I was very excited with how it turned out. What's your favorite color in the sweater?
Maybe the neon pink.
Yeah. Like mother, like daughter.